Hello. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Here is the ID. Morning, Arthur. Good morning, Arthur.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Connie? Sorry,
I'm good.
all of the little links to accept recording and everything else. So
Yeah. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
We are good. We are good. I have 3 people now that I'm putting in the waiting room, so just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Just so you know, Mr. Hawley is up first, Christopher Hawley.
Oh, okay, on the no driver's license case?
Yes.
Okay.
So Judge Madison, you and I have not had an opportunity to meet. I know you may have met Mike and spoken with him. And so my name is Arthur Bryan II.
Mr. Buzzy, I'm going to put you in a waiting room, okay?
I'm not sure they heard you.
All right.
In any event,
Yes.
having an opportunity to meet. Connie, will you move with Mr. Busey to
A breakout room, yes. Hold on 1
the
second.
waiting room?
Yes. Give me 1 second. No. Okay. Sorry.
Not a problem.
Okay, pleasure to meet you, sir.
Same to you, Judge Madison. And so I know normally we've been in person, so we're virtual. So just finding out, I'm going to be here, and then Mike will join. He's running late this morning, but he will
Sure.
pick for the docket. So I didn't know how, you want to conduct court today.
Right. I think what we can do is, why don't we start off by doing this? You said Holly's ready. He's going to be number one. So what I'll do, Mr. Bryan, is I'll go ahead and just call his case and kind of go through all the basics and say, we've got a prosecutor here today. I think it would be beneficial for you to speak with him. You don't have to, but most people who do get something worked out on their case, so you've got nothing to lose. If you want to visit with him, he's going to take you to a private meeting room where you can chat together in the privacy of just you and him, and then we'll go from there and see if he wants to do that, and most likely he will.
Okay. Connie, if you want to give me co-hosts access to be able to go into breakout rooms, create them, and then as we finish to come back into court to present.
That way, as a co-host, I believe, right, you can actually move people, so you can move them to your waiting room. Perfect. Yeah, it gives you the same administrative capabilities as Connie, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, Arthur, I believe I completed that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to admit these other individuals, so just give me 1 second.
Yeah, let's bring in, why don't we bring in Mr. Holly, Christopher Holly.
Okay. Hold on, this is not Mr. Holly, but give me 1 second. Mr. Buzzy, I'm going to put you in a waiting room, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, that's the code violation case. Okay.
Galaxy S9. If you'll tell us who you are and if you'll turn your camera on, please.
Yeah. Oh, that's Galaxy 9? No. Oh, because I have that's Christopher Holly here, but I don't see him.
Okay, please identify yourself so we know who's online, because we can't see you, so you need to go ahead and activate your camera and then identify yourself, please.
Okay. Okay.
Is that Mr. Holly?
Judge Madison and Arthur. Galaxy S9 is a Spanish-speaking gentleman, and so he is Mr. Christopher Holly. I don't see him on here, so he'll have to log back in. He was the first one to log in. But
right,
the Galaxy 09 is hold on 1 second. His Torino Alvarez is the one. Galaxy.
Okay. All right. Do we have a Spanish speaker over at City Hall?
Yes, we have Cindy Sanchez, and she will be with us just in a moment. So.
Okay. Good morning. There you are. Make sure your microphone's on. We can see you, but we cannot hear you. Now we got another person in here.
This is Mr. Holly, so I will, Mr. Holly, we'll be right with you, okay? Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm so sorry.
All right, let me do this real quick. I think we can get this taken care of pretty quickly. All right, so Mr. Holly, I think you've got your microphone muted. Let me go ahead and unmute your microphone real quick. Where did he go?
Oh, I just put him in a waiting room, so let me bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back. Let's get him so Mr. Bryan can meet with him while I start to go through the initial stuff with Mr. Alvarez.
Okay.
Bring him on back real quick.
Yes, I will bring him back.
All right. So, Mr. Howley, I'm Judge Madison. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Looks like you've got just one charge for operating a motor vehicle with no driver's license.
Yes, sir.
All right. And just for the record, this is Bertram Municipal Court of Record. This is the first docket call we have after becoming a court of record on October 7th, 2021. It's 9:08 a.m. Present is myself, presiding Judge Madison, Arthur Bryan, who's acting as an assistant city prosecutor and city attorney, is also present, and Connie Fliss, court clerk. So we've got everybody here, and it looks like just that one case, so no driver's license. Let me ask you a very quick question. Do you have a driver's license now?
I do not, but I'm over halfway done completing my online course after everything happened.
Okay, so you've never had a driver's license?
No, sir. No,
okay. Sir. Here's what I'd like to do, just so everybody knows here that, you know, you are in a municipal court, but you have the right to have a trial. You have a right to have a trial in this case. You have the right to hire legal counsel at your own expense. Look at all the evidence the state intends to prove at you at trial, and decide if you want to go to trial. And if you want to go to trial, you have the right to have a trial by judge or jury. Most people get something worked out in their cases. Things don't always work out at trial. And, you know, this is one of those cases that's probably a little less gray. It's either, you know, black or white. Did you have a license or not? And that's all the state's going to have to prove. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's kind of like, was the car registered or not? I mean, it's not like speeding. I don't think I was going that fast. So what I would suggest, and it's, you don't have to, but what I'd suggest is Mr. Bryan is happy to talk to you, discuss your case, which I can't discuss facts of case. He can discuss all that with you and maybe come up with a solution on your case that might include maybe even a probation, where if you complete the probation, this case gets dismissed and wouldn't cause you a problem, you know, in getting your driver's license, you know, where something could come up. Because if you're convicted of driving without a driver's license, that could cause a hiccup on getting your driver's license, you know.
Yes,
so
sir.
If you'd like to, he can grab you and take you into a private room. I won't hear anything. It's just you and him. And you can talk about your case, see if you come up with a resolution. And most people, I'd say 90% of the cases, you're able to get something worked out. Do you want to do that?
Yes, sir. I'd love to do that.
Okay, so Mr. Bryan, if you'd like to grab Mr. Hawley and y'all can go to a private meeting room and talk about his case.
All right, Your Honor.
All right. Now, let's see if we can get Mr. Alvarez back.
Okay, he is right here.
Ah, hello. Can you hear me? Mr. Alvarez. Mr. Alvarez, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Connie, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you, Judge.
Okay. I think they've got some problems with their mic or something, yes. Let's see.
We have Kelly McMahon. We have Paul Boozy, and then we have Kelly McMahon representing, I think, Tara Kessler in the waiting to be admitted. So let me
Let's hang on.
Kelly know that we're
here. On
here.
Alvarez, though, he's got a speeding charge. All right. Well, I don't think they figured out how to turn on
Okay, Mr. Alvarez, his volume does not work on his phone.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Now he is here at our location. He appeared in person. So
Can we get him a little closer to the microphone and we can just go ahead and we can do some interpreting and I can quickly talk to him about his options?
yes, absolutely.
So he can take off his headset because we're not going to be talking over that.
You can take off your headset.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, why don't you have a seat? All right. So do you speak a little English? Poquito inglés?
I speak English, but for this problem, I need to speak Spanish. For me, better for me, speak Spanish. More better.
All right,
English,
all right.
understand, but also.
Just poquito inglés, más español, ¿sí?
Okay.
All right. All right. So do we have somebody who can interpret with us now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you'd let him know that I'm Judge Madison, and I'm here to talk to him about his case of speeding.
Okay.
He understood that, Judge.
All right, very good. So he's got one charge of speeding 67 miles per hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. Entiende?
Sí, understand.
Okay. All right. Do you know what you want to do?
Pero te voy a decir en español. Pero te digo, para que lo diga en español.
Do you want a trial or do you want to just pay a fine? What do you want to do?
Sí, dice que si quieres apagar la multa o si quieres ir para escuchan los.
Sí, es por eso estoy aquí, para que me escuche, porque no fue así, para que me escuche. Entonces, ¿te explico para que lo diga? ¿Lo que pasó ese día? Sí. Cuando ella yo venía por aquí con el camión.
All right. What is he saying?
He said he's explaining what he did that day that it happened when he got the ticket.
But I can't talk about the facts of the case, but what I can ask him is, does he want a trial in corte or pagar? To pay.
¿Quieres pagar o
No, para corte. Para corte, no.
What?
Sí.
Para corte.
No.
No, pagar, o sea, para corte.
No, pero ¿quieres ir a corte o quieres pagar la multa?
No, a corte.
¿A corte? He wants to
A pre-trial.
pre-trial.
All right, so let me ask you this. ¿Tiene licencia
Sí.
Yes.
de Texas?
Sí.
Sí, okay, bien. Ask him if he's had a driver safety course in the past year.
Sí, tomaron una clase de manejar para como cuando te dan un ticket o algo así, cuando vas y te dan como te quitan un poquito de la aseguranza porque no estoy grande.
Sí, pero eso fue hace años, pero está recibido. Hace años.
¿Era un año?
Hace años, 2014, 13, pero no camión, fue está recibido.
Okay, he said it was prior to a year.
Say again?
It was prior to a year.
Okay, well, if he wants to get the case dismissed, he could use that defensive driving and get 100% guarantee it's going to get dismissed. All he has to do is pay the court costs and go take the driver safety course. Case gets dismissed. You want to do that?
Yes, sir.
Si quieres, puedes tomar la clase esa. Va a ser como, pienso que le puedes hacer en la computer o en su teléfono también. Dice que si tomas esa, you also that como
Dismiss the freeway.
¿Quieres hacer eso?
Pero la clase, ¿cuántas horas son la clase?
Los vas a tomar en la computer. Si no tienes computer, lo puedes hacer en el teléfono.
What's he saying?
¿Esa es la única opción que hay?
Okay, I need to know what he's saying.
The judge
I'm
needs to
sorry?
know what he's.
I need to know what he's saying.
What is he
Okay.
saying?
He's saying that he was asking me about the defensive driving course, how long
Yes.
it takes.
Yeah,
And-
it's a course that's 6 hours long, and you can take it online on the internet, or you can just go to a class and take it. Once he takes that and gets the certificate, case dismissed, and it won't show up on his driving record.
Dice que si tomas esta clase son 6 horas, y si tomas esta clase entonces después de eso te dan un certificado
Sí.
y te lo quitan de la de su record.
Ok.
¿Quieres hacer eso?
Sí, claro.
Okay, he said he wants to do that.
Okay, can you get him fixed up with the paperwork then and help him do that? And then I will waive, Connie, he doesn't need to get a copy of his driving record. I'll waive that. All he needs to do is pay the court costs, go take the class, get the certificate, case dismissed.
Dice que vas a tomar la clase esa de 6 horas y luego te van a
Connie,
dar-
if you can get him set up on that form.
Okay, sir, and just to reiterate, waive the no driving record, and you are only doing the court costs of
Court costs plus
134.
the $10 administrative fee. Court costs plus the $10 administrative fee, right?
Okay, sir, thank you.
Perfect. Okay. Mr. Bryan, yes, sir.
¿Cómo que 544?
Give me 1 second to,
Diciendo, ¿cómo que 544?
Mr. Holly, yes, Your Honor. Mr. Holly and I worked out a plea arrangement for an immediate deferral. Mr. Holly is going to plead no contest under conditions of deferral, which the 90 days will end on January 5th, 2022. Under the conditions of deferral, he's going to pay his court costs of day one. Mr. Holly, are you able to pay that immediately, or do you need time to pay it over the period of your deferral?
A little bit of time, yes, sir.
All right,
What
so-
I normally do on the court costs is can you get them paid within 30 days?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's do that then, Mr. Bryan. We'll do 30 days to pay those court costs. And then normally the provision is, of course, no tickets, no violations while you're on the probation, right?
Yes, sir.
And then what's the special expense fee, Mr. Bryan?
He's going to agree to pay $150 in a special expense fee.
All right. And normally what I do on that is just so it's paid before the end of the 90 days, then you're good. So you can kind of space it out. You know, you pay the court costs in the first 30, and that gives you 2 more months to get that $150 together. Will that work for you, sir?
That would work, yes, sir.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Bryan?
Yeah, his deferral that'll be drafted will stipulate
Yeah.
special expense fee within 150 days. He's got an obligation to also the conditions of deferral, as you mentioned, commit no other offenses. He's going to submit a certified copy of his driving record dated no earlier than 15 days in the show cause hearing scheduled to be set on January 11th at 10 o'clock. Mr. Holly has indicated he's not driving, and therefore he's not driving and doesn't have insurance. But he has indicated once he gets his driver's license, his plan is to get insurance. So he is either to submit an affidavit that stipulates he did not drive, and therefore does not have insurance as he's not obligated, or he will submit a copy of his insurance on or before the end, at the termination of his deferral period.
Okay, so either an affidavit that he's not driving or an affidavit that he got his driver's license, he's driving and he has insurance.
Yes, that's for insurance. He'll have to submit a copy of his driver's license by the end of his deferral.
All right, so you want to copy the driving record at the end of the deferral, is that correct? By January 11th, did I hear that right?
That is correct. He'll need to submit it to the court on or before the end, but he's got to have it dated no earlier than 15 days prior than the show cause hearing.
Right. Okay, very good. All right, so Connie, you've got all that?
You're muted, Connie, but Your Honor, I normally make notes on the case. Michael will make notes on that.
Yeah, and I've got notes on it too, and I'll submit
Thank
that as well to Connie. So
Okay.
we'll use the new deferred form that I sent to you, and then you can just put that in as another, the other as far as getting the affidavit and then his driving record by January 11th. Okay, very good. So understanding that you have the right to have a trial and be represented by counsel, look at all the evidence. Mr. Hawley, do you want to waive your right to trial, enter a plea of no contest, and be placed on this 90-day deferred disposition probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. And if you comply with those provisions, then of course the case will be dismissed at the end of the deferral. And what's going to happen is we're going to prepare up an order. I'm going to have it signed, and then my court clerk is going to send that to you by email, and you'll get a copy of it the next few days.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, sir, and good luck. Go get that driver's license, and we'll get you street legal.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, have a good day. You're good to sign off, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hawley.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, now who's next? I'd like to get Mr. Bryan. Do you want to meet with the attorney Kelly McMahon on her case? And I think that's going to be
Is
That's
that
gonna
Tara
be-
Tara
Tara
Kessler?
Kessler, right?
Yes. Here, let me admit her. Hold on.
Yeah. Why don't you grab her? Miss McMahon, how are you doing today? Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Here we are again.
Yes.
One more court we share together. Okay, very
Yes.
good. Mr. Bryan's here too, is representing the state of Texas as prosecutor. And you're
Okay.
here, I believe, for client Tara Kessler for a speeding charge. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to go into a meeting room, I'm assuming, with Mr. Bryan and talk about that case?
Please. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bryan, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. And then, Connie, who do we have next? Anybody else?
We have, actually, let me remove this, Alvarez. Hold on. The next one is, Paul Bussey. He's the code violation.
All right, Paul Bussey. And is this kind of like, has this already been to court on this one or not?
He was summoned to court. He did speak to, Judge Tenney, and it sounded like more, hold on one second here.
So he's previously been to court.
Yeah, he had a show hearing. So he had a show hearing, and I think it's more presenting, he
So
did do.
let me make sure I understand. So he had kind of had a status hearing. He wasn't placed on a deferred or anything, but it was kind of like, get your lot cleaned up, let's do this, and then we're going to come back to court and see if you've done it. Was that kind of a hearing?
That is correct, sir.
And I'm assuming that it's not all been done now, and that's why we're back again.
Yeah, well, he did plea, he pled not guilty. And, he signed a, hold on for there. Yeah, he just did a plea there in front of the judge, and then, we scheduled for a pretrial.
All right. But has he expressed that he wants a trial, or he's,
Yes,
I mean,
he
is he
expressed he
trying to
wanted-
work on cleaning up his lot or not?
Yes, he wanted a pretrial, that is correct. He did plead not guilty.
Okay,
And-
but is he trying to clean up his lot, or is he saying, I'm not cleaning it up and I want a trial?
I don't know that, sir.
Okay. Let's pull him in real quick and talk
Okay.
to him, Mr. Busey.
Okay?
Mr. Busey, this is Judge Madison. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well. All right, so I'm the presiding judge, and things have kind of changed in at this point in time in Bertram. We are become a court of record, so I'm an attorney judge, and I was hired October 1st, which is also the first day that we have become a court of record, which means all cases that go to trial are being recorded and the only way to appeal is for the defendant to get a copy of the court proceedings, pay for a court reporter to transcribe them and show the county court in Burnett that there was an error. And if there was an error committed, then you get a new trial. If not, the judgment would be sustained. So it's a little different procedures. It's more formal in a court of record. But I wanted to ask you, you're here on code violations in your lot. I think it's about some vehicles maybe that may be also in your yard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's the status of the vehicles, if you don't mind me asking, so I kind of know where we're going on this?
Well, I have several that are registered as antiques,
Yeah.
and I don't think they were aware of that when they wrote me the citation. But I did have some other stuff in the yard, and I've cleaned up, put everything out of the yard. Everything is parked in a gravel driveway, and all the vehicles I have that are outside are registered.
They are registered. Okay.
So
Well,
there's
if your
absolutely
vehicles
nothing.
are registered, meaning they're fit to drive on the street, then that's not a junked vehicle. That is absolutely street legal.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that. And what kind of cars you got?
Well, I have a 55 Chevy truck and a 58, which
Wow.
are two of the classics. And I have an older Toyota.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's meet with the prosecutor. I'm going to take care of this other case. So I'm going to just very quickly put you back in a waiting room, and then let's talk to the prosecutor together about your case. See if we can't get you taken care of today. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We'll be right back with you. All right. So, Mr. Bryan and Ms. McMahon, what are we doing on this case?
So the state's presented a 90-day plea offer to defense counsel with court cost special expense fee of $175, a certified driving record, insurance, a driver safety course, certificate upon completion, and then a show cause review hearing scheduled for January 11th.
All right. So let me back up. This is a 90-day deferred?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so pay court costs, and normally I always allow people 30 days to pay the court costs. And of course, no violations while on probation, right? And what's the special expense fee in this one?
$175.
Okay, $175. All right, any other conditions other than the no other violations? Did you say take a driver safety course?
Take her safety course, submit her safety course completion certificate on or before her deferral, copy of her insurance, a certified driving record. And so Ms. McMahon, I'm actually going to send an email with the draft deferral for her to present to her client for
Okay. Great.
seconds. After that, I'll finalize her deferral and send it over to the court.
Okay, so you need time
Excuse me, I'll
obviously to
send
talk to your
it.
client about it, right? And then you'll get back with Mr. Bryan on that. So I'll let you all do that. At this time, what we'll do is just put it on a pending reset. Everything's accepted. We'll just do the deferred, send it to Ms. McMahon, and be finished with that. Very good.
Okay.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you. See you
Thank
later.
Kelly.
Okay, Mr.
right,
Bryan, then
thanks.
you'll send something to Ms. McMahon. Great. All right.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Take care. All right. So, Mr. Bryan, I was just trying to get a little bit of initial information on this Paul Busey. It's a code violation, and apparently, I guess there was some rubbish and things in the yard, and then also there was an allegation that he had some junked vehicles. He said they're not junk vehicles. He has some classic vehicles, including a 55 Chevy, and they're all registered, he said, and operable. So they do have current registration. So why don't we bring him in, and then we can just initially chat, and then maybe you and him want to go to a separate chat room and talk a little more about it. Does that sound good?
Yes, Your Honor.
Connie, do you want to bring Mr. Busey back, and then we'll just chat, and then let Mr. Bryan have a few moments with him and talk to him about his case? All right, Mr. Busey, we're back here. Mr. Bryan has joined us. He's the prosecutor in the case. I did tell him that I think there was some, I don't have the complete file right in front of me. I'd have to open it up. But I think there was some allegations, some things in the yard. You said the yard's been cleaned up. But the vehicles that were being alleged as quote unquote junk vehicles, those vehicles are operable and they are currently registered with current registration. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Bryan, do you want to visit with Mr. Busey so you gentlemen can talk in the privacy of a private chat room and then just kind of talk about the case, see if you can get some resolution on this thing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
I know
Mr.
Mike just joined, and
Yes.
so I'll have a conversation with Mr. Busey, and then I think Mike will take over at that time.
Okay. And he's logging in now. I think right now Mike is logging in.
Mr. Busey, if you will accept the invitation to go to the city prosecutor room.
Okay, that looks like that's been done. All right, so let me make a note. Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Mr. Bryan was just meeting with one of the defendants, Mr. Busey, who had an allegation of some, I guess, junk and rubbish in the yard and some junk vehicles. And he's advised me, I don't get into the facts, but I do ask, what, there's an allegation of junk vehicles, what's the status? And he said, they're not junk vehicles, they're classic vehicles. One of them's a 55 Chevy, apparently. And he said they're currently registered. So I said, why don't you visit with Mr. Bryan, see what you can get worked out about that. He said, I've cleaned up my yard. And I said, great. So it sounds like he's at least moving in the right direction, forward rather than backward. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, I'm a car nut. I don't want to mess up a 55 Chevy for sure. Unless we want to kind of seize it and use it for the Bertram City Attorney car. That'd be good.
There you go. I remember when I was younger, James Taylor made one movie, and bless his heart, he was a heck of a singer and a guitar player and musician, but not so good on the big silver screen. Dwight Yoakam was fantastic, great actor. I mean, he was in the one with Billy Bob Thornton, Sling Blade.
Sling Blade. Yeah,
he played a really nasty person, Dwight Yoakam. He was the abusive boyfriend, but he was really good actor. But James Taylor, he was in a movie. The reason I mentioned it, he had a 55 Chevy that was completely, it looked just real plain vanilla, but it had, a screaming engine in it and headers and cams and all this stuff. And it was called Two Lane Blacktop, and it was a pretty awful movie, but that car was mighty fine. So it's just basically a movie about him driving around the country, racing people in different places, and that was pretty much the extent of the movie. But it did have a cool 55 Chevy in it. So, yeah.
Do you know who? I'm sure I'll talk to Arthur here in a bit if he's talking to Busey. Who he's spoken to this morning?
Yes, sir. He just finished with Attorney Kelly McMahon on Tara Kessler.
Okay, Kessler.
Got that one squared away with the deferred disposition. Let's see. I spoke with who was interpreting for us this morning?
That was Cindy Sanchez interpreted.
Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was on Mr. Duriel Chirino Alvarez. And, I always talk to people and let them know that, never know what's going to happen at trial, but the driver safety course is the only thing I know of that's 100% guaranteed. So when he heard that, he said, I'll go ahead and take the driver safety course, because he was kind of itching towards a trial. And he said, no, I want to, driver safety course. Yes, I'm good. So he's going to get signed up for that. So we got Tara Kessler taken care of with the deferred. We also got, Christopher Hawley. That was a no driver's license case, and Mr. Bryan got him squared away with a 90-day deferred.
Okay. So
we've got, and then right now he's talking to, of course, Mr. Busey. So we've got,
who showed up?
Connie, is Jonathan Flores present on his speeding case?
I'm sorry. Give me
Is
one
Mr.
second.
Flores present? Jonathan Flores?
Yeah, we don't have Flores yet. We do not have Meza. And
we do have Meza? Christina
yet.
Meza?
They have not logged in.
Oh.
Georgina just brought something to my attention. when interpreting for Torino Alvarez, he says he has a Class C.
He's driving a big old truck. He has to have a CDL.
Yeah, he has a Class C driver's license, and I think I made a copy of his driver's license. Hold on.
Okay. He's good if he's got a Class C.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, so Connie, did you say that Christina Meza was here?
Oh, she said she was not.
Oh, okay, you guys, we just learned that this Torino Alvarez actually has a commercial learner permit.
Commercial learner permit.
Yes.
Okay, but did he have the commercial learner's permit when he got the citation?
There's the question. There you go.
Yep.
He did?
Well, he presented it,
It's issued on
May 5th. 5/5.
The question is, though, on the date of the citation, did he have that CDL learner permit or a Class C operators?
He had a learner's permit at the time of the violation.
Then I don't think he's going to be eligible for the driver safety course, right, Mike? Yeah. Is he still here or is he gone?
I think he's gone. We could reschedule him.
Why don't you reschedule him? And Mike, do you do any prosecutor conferences separate from court or not? Where
Sure.
you can call him?
Absolutely.
Maybe you can call
We're
him
gonna
and
reschedule
talk to him and see if y'all can come to resolution on this thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing, on a CDL, I know there's certain times, obviously, we both know I can't grant him a deferred and can't give him driver safety. I do know those are situations with my prosecutors and other courts. I know Eddie does this, in my court out at Horseshoe Bay, Mr. Arredondo does this. Sometimes on those certain special situations, I've seen him say, I'm going to set this off for 90 days. If there's no tickets, like a pretrial diversion, no paperwork signed. And if he doesn't get any tickets, I'm going to dismiss it. And then I don't ever get in the way of that. That's total prosecutor discretion. It's not masking. I taught the course on masking for TMCEC, and that's not masking. It's total prosecutor discretion. It's not, playing a game like, hey, don't show up, and then we'll just do a failure to appear. I mean, some people say, no, we don't. Yeah, I don't even want to be around anything like that. But whatever you want to work out with him, if it is something to work out. If not, what I do tell him sometimes is, all we can do is lower the fine. On some of them, I know they go, well, if it was less than 10%, I would do that. And then I'm like, I don't care if the fine squeaked down to $50 and waive court costs. To me, it's more important to have it on the record if you're a professional driver, if you've done something wrong, and have that on the record. And it doesn't bother me at all, just so you know. It doesn't give me any heartburn. If you want to say, look, I can reduce the charge to under 10% so you don't get dinged as bad. So whatever you guys work out, you can be pretty well assured I'm going to have no problem with it.
Sounds good.
I just want to let you know, he is actually still here in the parking lot. So if you want to bring him back and speak to him, we can certainly do that while
you know
he's
what
here.
might be better? He was having some problems, remember, with his phone on Zoom, but you could give Mr. Guevara his phone number and tell him that Mike's going to give him a call.
Okay.
That'd be probably better because he was having problems with logging onto Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. We can do that.
Okay, Mr. Bryan, looks like you're back from Mr. Busey.
Yes, Your Honor. We are going to request a 30-day reset for the purposes of the Code Enforcement Department to actually do their inspection within the 30 days that they're required to do it. Mr. Busey has indicated the cars are registered. He's moved them, so he's rectified the details of violation. He is going to mail to the court a copy of his registration indicating that those vehicles are registered and they're actually operable vehicles. I'm going to send a note and request that the Code Enforcement Department actually go re-inspect in accordance with our obligations and make a determination whether or not there's still a violation there or not.
So basically we'll reset for next court date, give Code an opportunity to go out, take a look, and you're going to send us copies showing your current registration, Mr. Busey, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then I know Mr. Guevara was interested, so tell us what kind of cars. You had a 55 Chevy, right?
I've got a 55 truck and I've got a 58 Chevy truck.
Oh, 58 trucks. Okay.
Yeah,
Have
they're
you
both trucks.
done any work on the engines?
Oh,
Or are
yeah.
they just...
The 58's really nice. The 55 is kind of a work in progress.
So what's the 58 got in it? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it's running a V6 right now.
Okay.
It runs
Sweet.
great, man. It's nice.
Standard transmission on the column, or
It's automatic.
Automatic. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
It is really awesome. It drives good.
All right. We all love those old cars, the classics for sure. They don't make them like that anymore. I remember working in my garage on my friend's GTO in summer in Dallas, and you'd have a light on. Of course, the June bugs would be attacking you, and you'd be trying to. We didn't have much money, so we didn't even have a timing light. We just turned that distributor until it sounded really good, and then tighten it down. And then when you didn't have money, remember the points you get, like borrow your mom's Emory file and just file down the points and use them again.
Yeah, you don't see that much anymore.
No, it's all electronic now, that's for sure. All right, Mr. Busey, sounds good, sir. Appreciate your cooperation today, and hopefully we'll be able to get this thing resolved and be done with it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're good to go, sir. Take care. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right. All right, so Connie, were you able to get Mr. Guevara a phone number for Mr. Alvarez?
Let me go check with them. Hold on.
Okay, great.
Do we have anybody in the waiting room before you run away?
No, I do not.
Oh,
So I have 3 people that did not show for the 10 o'clock or for the 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. And then we have 3 pre-trials on the 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock dock.
Yeah, so 3 left on the 9 o'clock, and then we start the 10.
So
I'll be right back.
are those that didn't show up Jonathan Flores, Tyler went? Well, I'm sorry, is it Jonathan? Oh, she's what?
Oh, Jonathan Flores. Okay.
Christina Mason.
Well, I probably need to ask. I guess it's Jonathan Flores, Mesa,
And
Colgaligli.
All right. So obviously on these, on Jonathan Flores, the court's going to request the issuance of an arrest warrant and add the charge for FTA. So we'll do that.
Okay.
Failure to appear. And let's see, Mesa was also a no-show. Isn't that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Can I ask your honor for Jonathan Flores? Connie, do you know if this is his first missed appearance?
Connie, I don't know where Connie went, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like this is his first missed appearance.
Then we can reset, add the FTA and reset. And then if he no-shows, we'll issue an arrest warrant.
I don't know where Connie went. I think she's looking for the phone number you guys asked
Yeah, I
about.
think she's going to look for the phone number from Mr. Alvarez.
I have it right here.
All right, so let's do a reset for him. Add the FTA charge. If he
Mr.
no-shows
Flores?
next time, we'll issue the arrest warrants.
I'll be right back. She even took her pen with her. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm assuming that Connie sends them that Senate Bill 1913 letter, which has the consequences and all the stuff that's required before we can issue the FTA, right? I'm assuming that's being done.
You're talking about the pre-warrant, pre-FTA notice?
Yeah, when you send the letter, it's the Senate Bill 1913 letter that says if you do not show up, these are, the consequences. It gives them different options on if you can't pay, you can ask for community service, things like that. And it says, and you have to list all the consequences. That's that bill they passed 2 years ago. That has to be sent before we can issue that failure to appear. I've got a good draft of that.
I believe she does, because normally it stipulates that you contact the court.
Yeah, I'll make sure she does, and if not, I'll give her one of mine. I actually drafted one up right after they passed that, and TMCEC was using it with their court clerks as a form, so I'll be happy to make sure we've got that. Okay, let's see what's going
I
on.
heard him on the, I said, I'm watching you, I'll turn over here when you're gone. I was like, where's Joe? And you took the pin. So they're gonna do an FTA and a reset Mr. Flores.
Oh, okay.
Like I said,
Okay.
on this one.
Okay, thank you.
And I got these sticky notes. And don't take the pen. And she's got a phone number for Mr.
Yes, we do have a phone number for Mike.
Okay, go
All right,
ahead.
so you've got a phone number for Mr. Alvarez for Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to give that now to you, or you
Yeah.
want me to email it to you?
You
It
can
is-
go ahead.
Huh?
I would probably
I'll email it to
that
you
way his
also.
phone number's not on YouTube.
It's 512.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
right.
email it.
Yeah, why don't you email us so it doesn't get broadcast on YouTube?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. So Connie, let me ask you a question. On these no-shows, when you're setting these people for initial court appearances, are we using that Senate Bill 1913 letter that says your court date is set for this date? If you fail to appear, these are the consequences that can happen. A warrant may be issued for your arrest. You may have a hold on your driver's license. All these things, you could be arrested and transported to jail. Did Judge Simon have such a letter? Did she create that letter for you?
No, I have a failure to appear at the hearing or any date of which this case may result in a charge of failure to appear. So
Let me send you I
And warrant
drafted
being
a
issued.
Senate Bill 1913 letter right after that law was passed 2 years ago, and TMCEC is using it in their clerk school, the letter I
Okay.
drafted. So let me just send you that because it's got the gold seal of approval from TMCEC. So I'll send you that letter. So, for example, on the no-show here for Mr. Flores, let's reset him, send him that Senate Bill 1913 letter. And I'm going to send you that later today. As soon as we click off and finish today, I'm going to send you that 1913 letter and then send him a letter and then reset him. But do file an additional charge of failure to appear because he did not appear, Mr. Flores.
okay.
All right, so we're going to do the reset, add the failure to appear, but no warrants, just a reset right now. Okay, on Christina Meza, she no-showed too, right?
That is correct.
All right, same thing with that. Reset, add FTA charge, no warrants yet. We'll send the Senate Bill 1913 letter. All right, so Mr. Alvarez, Mike's going to call in just a minute. And what about Zachariah Kuloli?
So,
He
Miss-
also,
So Mr. Cobley actually is represented by counsel.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, Steve O'Cara, who's his representative counsel, is not here. We have reached out to counsel and have not gotten a response.
Who's the attorney again?
Name is Steve O'Cara. Connie, do you know from Mesa, is this her first missed appearance or is this her second?
this is her first.
Okay.
All right, so on Zachariah, is the state asking for an FTA charge since neither the defendant or attorneys appeared? It certainly would be up to you, but it would give you, if you want to negotiate later, you can always drop it, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's up, you want the FTA then? And we won't issue a warrant, we'll reset, but we'll say we got an FTA charge and you can decide if you want to dismiss it.
Yes, that would be my preference.
Okay, I would concur with that, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so,
The same thing that we did for Mr. Flores.
exactly. And also for Christina Mesa,
Christina.
reset, add FTA charge, no warrants though. And we'll send
Okay.
that with that Senate Bill 1913 letter, which I'm gonna send to you, right? Okay, now, were you able to email that contact information to Mike on,
I have not done that yet, but when I get back to my desk, I will.
okay, all right. So in the 9 o'clock docket, there's no other defendants present, as my understanding at this time.
That is correct.
All right, in the 10 o'clock, those are all ones I'll be talking to on show causes, right?
Yeah,
think we
show
have three.
cause-
Or let me, so Tyler Leck, who's got an assault by contact family violence.
No, that's a Class A. It shouldn't have been filed on our court.
I didn't think so. All right.
Okay. All right. That's that. Oh, there are some other ones though on the 9 o'clock I see here.
There's three.
Okay. Yeah. Like Christina Filburn, attorney Stephanie Collins. Is that a no-show today?
Well, that's 10 o'clock. Filburn,
that's
St. Clair, and Borland are on 10 o'clock docket.
Okay. All right. So that's all on the 10 o'clock docket. Okay.
Right.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Oh, okay. There it is. All right. That got away from me. All right. That's 10 o'clock docket. Very good. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I guess we can go ahead and Mr. Guevara can call Mr. Alvarez. Connie, you want to shoot him that phone number by email?
Yeah, let me go do it
quick,
right
and
now.
That way he can take care of that. I'm going to sign off, and then I'll come back on at 10 o'clock.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good. Thanks
All
for
right. Thank you.
Hey, Connie.
Yes.
So we had the same problem last week on St. Clair. My affidavits, this is not your fault. The affidavits say that they were operating a motor vehicle on such and such highway. That does not do me any good for a code enforcement case.
Okay.
I talked to the chief about that last month, and he went and ran and got me affidavit for that. But Sinclair says the same thing. Now it's got the language added on the bottom that just has the citation or has what the code is, but it says to wit did operate a motor vehicle on the highway, blah, blah, blah. We've got to get specific complaints on these code enforcement. It's not going to work for the code enforcement. So
Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
All right, let me go. I'm going to run and talk to Arthur about a couple things.
All right, let me go email you.
Okay.